I want us to understand the 5 levels of market sophistication. And I have an example, which is the iPhone. Everybody knows what the iPhone is, so everybody could understand what this example could practically change their whole advertising and content strategy as well. So make sure to watch this full video because it's going to be extremely important for any type of ads and content you may be running. You might be changing all of that after watching this. So we need to understand the 5 levels of the market sophistication. And as you can see, as we increase the level, the skepticism of that product or service increases. And also, the higher the bar is, the higher the level of the market sophistication. So for example, what do I mean by sophistication? I have an actual example as well with the iPhone, but let's say I'm selling this drink. You need to buy this drink. You need to buy this drink because it comes with a removable cap. So for example, if you remove this cap, you can always just put it back on. And this is why you need to get this drink instead of the other ones. So that's kind of like level 1 marketing. Level 2 is make a bigger claim than your competitors. So on level 2, let's say everybody has all of these bottle caps now. Now at this point, I can say something like, okay, so we've redesigned the shape of this bottle so it can contain more water now. So now this bottle contains more water and it's half the price compared to all of the rest. So that's kind of like level 2 sophistications. And bear with me because I'm just doing this right off the cuff. And then level 3 is going to be introduce a big differentiator that supports the claim and convinces the mind. So I'm just going to go through all of these levels because I already have an example lined out. I'm not just going to use this bottle and just talk random stuff because I already have something more curated planned for you guys. And on the level 4, we have create a newer or better differentiator or improve on the previous one. And it just says something about the widget. Don't worry about that because I got this from a page. And then level 5 is the differentiator burnt out. So the differentiator you have over here, it just burnt out. Now audience skepticism is at an all-time high. So like any new claims you make, people are going to be like, okay, yeah, I mean, sure, does this even work? And then full-on empathic marketing is now the only option. Let's do this step by step. So level 1, make any claim a new market. Market state. People don't know what a modern smartphone is. This is iPhone when it first came out. Now the example of how iPhone or Apple was marketing their phones. Example is Apple reinvents the phone. An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator all in one. That's how they were selling their iPhone. Now, would this work in today's market? Hey guys, we came up with this phone. It's a flashlight, it's a camera, it's a calculator, a GPS. It can text message all in one phone. iPhone, everybody. It wouldn't work because everybody know what that is. You need something more sophisticated now in today's market because the phone market is like extremely sophisticated. That's why Apple has the tone it has because it's just built up on that. Now let's talk about level 2. Make a bigger claim than your competitors. Now at this point, we have multiple competitors. We have in Android, we have Samsung, we have a lot of other people who are getting into the smartphone market because, you know, people are slowly building up the hype on everybody needing a smartphone and switching from, at this point, from a flip phone. So now at this point, we have twice as fast, half the price. And this is for the iPhone 3G launch now. Like, who remembers that? I was like 5 maybe. And then the set headline is like fast web, GPS in the App Store now for everyone. So now that's their selling point, bigger claim than competitors because maybe at that point, you know, with the same price, it wasn't as fast. So that's kind of like their selling point. Maybe it didn't have fast web. Maybe that was a problem at that specific time of the market. Like the web wasn't fast. Maybe it didn't have GPS. And then maybe the App Store, I think it was just rolling out at that point, wasn't as proficient when it came to iPhone 3G. Now, level 3, introduce a convincing differentiator, which is the mechanism. So the market state, big promises everywhere, and now you must prove the how. On level 1 or 2, you can make any claim, you could say anything, you could say you're better than the competitors, and it might work because the market is at that point. But now the market is at that point where like you need to convince the differentiator and the mechanism. So market state, big promises are everywhere and you must prove how. Example, there's an app for that. And that was their campaign at that point. App Store plus multi-touch plus Safari, the first real computer in your pocket. Other mechanism Apple has used like Retina display, Face ID, and Siri. Because at level 3, at this point, iPhone was gaining massive momentum because they're not going to come up with like brand new inventions every single year. Like it's just not possible. iPhone was just kind of like a one-of-a-kind invention. And now they have to find different ways and tools year by year or like, you know, every 5 years to actually find ways to advertise their product in a similar level of what they did before. So at this point, now they're talking about the features because people know what an iPhone is at this point. Now they're talking about like App Store, multi-touch, Safari, and they're advertising as like the first real computer in your pocket. And as you can see, like other mechanisms Apple used was the Retina display, Face ID, and also Siri. So level 4 is new and better mechanism. So the market state is your differentiator is copied, now upgraded. So this has already been copied, like it's been taken, it's been like scrambled, it's been like overused by 20,000 competitors at this point, and now you need something else. Now at this point, iPhone is like, okay, now we have Night Mode 2.0 with deep fusion, clear detailed photos in near darkness. So at this point, perhaps photos on cameras and cameras on phones is just one of those things where everybody wants a good camera. So the iPhone, of course, was like, okay, so you can now take better photos in the dark. You can take better photos at night, because maybe that's the problem with that market. I don't know, like I forgot. And the subheadline over here is like a series chip plus ProMotion plus ceramic shield are most durable / fastest iPhone yet. So they identified what people wanted at that specific point as well, where the market sophistication is at. And everyone, keep in mind, everyone at that point is coming out with features left, right, and center. So they want to make sure they're like catching up and also introducing new features so the audience still has an interest to buy the latest and greatest. And at level 5, the differentiator fatigues. Like the differentiator doesn't necessarily care. Now you need an identity marketing. Like, why should people go with you in the first place? And this is where you need proof rather than just, like features and stuff. So their latest campaign, I believe, was the Shot on iPhone campaign, where they did this whole Apple presentation. And towards the end, they just said Shot on iPhone. And at that point, they're literally giving you a real life example of, okay, so this is the type of quality you can get from this phone. They didn't even mention the phone. They just like Shot on iPhone. That's it. So at that point, you're instantly taken towards iPhone. I'm like, okay, this has better quality camera. And you're proving it real time by that message, because you saw the actual video and how good it looked. So this is real user stories and films focused on outcomes, values, and identity, creativity, privacy, accessibility, instead of just raw claims. So the things aren't raw anymore. Like they've marinated to the point where you need to show proof. So that video, that event was proof that the iPhone camera was actually good enough for people to go ahead and purchase. So that's where pretty much the level 5 market is at. So you can see as we climb the ladder, like an iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator all in one. This was the first level of market. Now it's come to the point where they have to create full-on commercials on iPhone. Now, of course, this thing has come a long way as well, but this is just very good information to have to understand what level of market sophistication, and your messaging might be just at a different level. Let's say your market sophistication is at a level 3 or level 4, and you're marketing at a level 1 or level 2 claim, which is not going to work as well. So this is why you need to make sure that when it comes to the market levels and the sophistication, you understand this concept and market specifically towards the stage of that market. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. Hope you guys got a lot of value from this video, and let me know how this changed any of your messaging or campaigns or even your content in the comments below, and I would love to get back to you on some of my thoughts. Also, there's a Calendly link right in the description where we implement all of this for our clients as well when it comes to content, ads. It's a complete done-for-you service. We handle everything from A to B. The only requirement you have is, of course, showing up to the recordings once a week, and also just getting on consistent meetings with me or some of my team members to make sure we're aligned, because marketing is a very important segment of a business, and we want to make sure we give it the same attention. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also hit the like button, because this pushes out the video to other business owners, and it just motivates me to make more content, because I see the investment working into YouTube. I see the numbers going up, so that's why we create more content. But yeah, I'll see you next week.